Gaza reels from Israel's devastating bombardments. Here's a brief history of the conflict using maps and charts. Israel's deadly bombardment of Gaza has killed nearly 15,000 people, including 10,000 women and children, in over 50 days, making it the deadliest war for the besieged Palestinian enclave till date. Israel has rebuffed calls for a ceasefire as a 4-day humanitarian truce comes to an end on November 28. It is unclear whether the truce will be extended. The devastation of Gaza and the mounting death toll has triggered worldwide protests, bringing the decades-long issue to the center stage of global politics. The Balfour Declaration, the Israeli-Palestinian issue, goes back nearly a century when Britain, during World War I, pledged to establish a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine under the Balfour Declaration. British troops took control of the territory from the Ottoman Empire at the end of October 1917. Jewish immigration to Palestine. A large-scale Jewish migration to Palestine began, accelerated by Jewish people fleeing Nazism in Europe. Between 1918 and 1947, the Jewish population in Palestine increased from 6% to 33%. Palestinians were alarmed by the demographic change and tension rose, leading to the Palestinian Revolt from 1936 to 1939. Meanwhile, Zionist organization continued to campaign for homeland for Jews in Palestine. Armed Zionist militias started to attack the Palestinian people, forcing them to flee. Zionism, which emerged as political ideology in the late 19th century, called for the creation of the Jewish homeland.
The UN partition plan. As violence ravaged Palestine, the matter was referred to the newly formed United Nations in 1947. The UN adopted Resolution 181, which called for the partition of Palestine into Arab and Jewish state, handing over about 55% of the land to Jews. Arabs were granted 45% of the land, while Jerusalem was declared a separate internation allied territory. The city is currently divided between West Jerusalem, which is predominantly Jewish, and East Jerusalem, with a majority Palestinian population. Israel captured East Jerusalem after the Six-Day War in 1967, along with the West Bank, a step not recognized by the international community. The UN partition plan. As violence ravaged Palestine, the matter was referred to the newly formed United Nations in 1947. The UN adopted Resolution 181, which called for the partition of Palestine into Arab and Jewish state, handing over about 55% of the land of Jews. Arabs were granted 45% of the land, while Jerusalem was declared a separate internation allied territory. The old city in occupied East Jerusalem holds religious significance for Christians, Muslims, and Jews. It is home to Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, which is known to Muslims. The old city in occupied East Jerusalem holds religious significance of Christians, Muslims, and Jews. It is home to Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, which is known to Muslims as Al-Haram, Al-Sharim, and to Jews as Temple Mount. In 1981, the UN designated it a World Heritage Site, the Nakba. Leading up to Israel's birth in 1948, more than 750,000 Palestinians were ethnically cleansed from their homes by Zionist militia. This mass exodus come to be known as the Nakba or catastrophe. Apart there, 300,000 Palestinians were displaced by the Six-Day War in 1967. Israel declared the annexation of East Jerusalem in 1980, but the international community still consider it an occupied territory. Palestinians want East Jerusalem as the capital of their future state. Oslo Accord. In 1993, Palestinian leaders the Oslo Accord. In 1993, Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat and Israel Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin signed the Oslo Accord, which aimed to eat peace within 5 years, it was the first time the two sides recognized each other.